Do you really show your cat that you love them every single day? Most cat owners believe they do. You feed them, you give them a comfortable home, you buy toys, and you pet them whenever they come close. From a human perspective, that feels like love. But here's the surprising truth many people never realize. Cats don't interpret affection the same way we do. In fact, some of the things owners do daily, thinking they're being kind, can actually make a cat feel uncomfortable or misunderstood. The good news is that building a stronger bond with your cat doesn't require expensive toys or hours of training. Sometimes the most powerful gestures take only seconds. Small, simple habits, when done consistently, can change how your cat sees you. Instead of just being the person who feeds them, you become someone they truly trust, someone they choose. Let's begin with something most people already do instinctively, but often feel embarrassed about. The first thing that strengthens your bond with a cat is speaking to them in a soft, affectionate tone, almost like the way people talk to babies. If you've ever caught yourself using a high-pitched, gentle voice when talking to your cat, you're not alone. Many people naturally switch to a softer tone without realizing it. Some even feel a little silly about it, but research suggests that this instinct is actually beneficial. Studies observing cat behavior have found that cats are much more responsive to their owner's voice when it carries warmth, softness, and emotional tone. When owners speak in a regular adult voice, cats often react very little. But when that voice shifts into a gentle, melodic tone, cats tend to perk up, move their ears forward, turn their heads, or even approach the person speaking. To a cat, that tone communicates something important: safety. Cats are highly sensitive to subtle changes in sound and emotion. They may not understand the words you say, but they absolutely recognize emotional signals in your voice. When you greet your cat softly while entering a room, when you talk to them while preparing their food, or when you casually chat with them while passing by, you're reinforcing the idea that your presence is calm and predictable. Over time, that simple habit builds familiarity and comfort. To your cat, your voice becomes part of the environment they trust. The second habit is even simpler but incredibly meaningful in cat language. It involves something many owners have witnessed but never fully understood: the slow blink. If you've ever looked at your cat and noticed them slowly closing their eyes while staring at you, it may look like they're sleepy or relaxed. In reality, it's often a deliberate signal. In feline communication, prolonged direct staring can be interpreted as a threat. Predators and rival cats often stare intensely before a confrontation. Because of this, cats developed subtle ways to show they mean no harm. One of the most important signals is the slow blink. When a cat looks at you and gently closes their eyes before reopening them, they are essentially saying, "I feel safe around you." Researchers studying human-cat interactions have found that cats often respond positively when people mimic this behavior. When owners slowly blink at their cats and soften their gaze, many cats will blink back or move closer. This tiny interaction may last only a few seconds, but it communicates trust. Think of it as a silent conversation. Instead of staring intensely at your cat, try softening your gaze and slowly closing your eyes for a moment. If your cat returns the gesture, it's a small but meaningful sign that they recognize you as part of their safe world. The third habit many owners overlook involves playtime. A surprising number of cats appear uninterested in toys, and owners often assume their pet is simply lazy. But boredom is frequently the real reason. Cats are natural hunters. Even indoor cats still carry the instincts of their wild ancestors. Their brains are wired for a sequence of behaviors: stalking, chasing, pouncing, and catching prey. When toys are moved in predictable or repetitive ways, they fail to activate those instincts. Simply waving a toy in front of your cat's face rarely triggers their hunting drive. Instead, toys should move like real prey. Imagine how a small animal behaves in nature. It hides, pauses, darts away unexpectedly, and occasionally freezes. When toys mimic these movements, sliding behind furniture, suddenly changing direction, disappearing for a moment, cats become far more engaged. Their pupils widen, their body lowers toward the ground, and their tail begins to flick. These are signs that their hunting instinct has been activated. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of realistic play each day can make a major difference. Cats that regularly experience satisfying play sessions often become calmer, healthier, and more affectionate afterward. To them, the person providing that experience becomes part of their natural rhythm of hunt, eat, and rest. The fourth habit might sound strange because it involves doing almost nothing at all. Simply spending quiet time in the same space as your cat can be one of the strongest ways to build trust. Many people believe bonding with a pet always requires interaction: petting, calling their name, or offering treats. But cats often interpret attention differently. In the wild, cats only relax near individuals they fully trust. They don't need constant physical contact to feel connected. Sometimes sharing space is enough. If you sit on the couch, reading a book, working on your phone, or watching television while your cat relaxes somewhere nearby, a subtle process is taking place. Your cat is observing you. They notice that you're calm, predictable, and not demanding anything from them. That absence of pressure is comforting. Over time, many cats gradually move closer. At first, they may stay on the other side of the room. Later, they might settle on the same couch. Eventually, they may curl up beside you without being invited. When a cat chooses to move closer on their own, it's one of the strongest signs of trust they can offer. In the world of cats, being chosen is more meaningful than being called. Another powerful daily habit involves how you greet your cat before touching them. Humans tend to rely on sight first. We see someone and immediately reach out for a hug or handshake. Cats, however, experience the world primarily through scent. Their noses gather enormous amounts of information about safety, familiarity, and territory. When two cats greet each other peacefully, they usually begin by touching noses or sniffing one another. This brief exchange allows them to confirm identity and mood. When humans skip this step and immediately start petting a cat, the interaction can feel abrupt. Imagine if a stranger suddenly hugged you without saying hello. It might not hurt, but it would feel strange. A more respectful approach is to offer your cat a finger before touching them. Hold your hand a few inches away and allow them to approach first. Most cats will lean forward, sniff your finger, and sometimes rub their cheek against it. This is their way of marking you with their scent and accepting your presence. Once they initiate that contact, petting them becomes far more comfortable and natural for them. These small habits may seem almost insignificant, but together they create a language your cat understands. Love, in the feline world, is not loud or dramatic. It's subtle, patient, and built through tiny signals repeated every day. And surprisingly, one of the biggest mistakes owners make, something that can quietly damage a cat's sense of safety, often happens when the cat is sleeping. That's where the next part begins. One of the most common mistakes cat owners make is disturbing their cat while they're sleeping. It usually comes from a good place. Your cat looks unbelievably cute curled up in a tight little ball, paws tucked in, tail wrapped around their body, breathing slowly. In that moment, many people feel an irresistible urge to pick them up, hug them, or move them to their lap. From a human perspective, it feels like affection, but from a cat's perspective, it can feel very different. Cats sleep a lot, often between 12 and 16 hours a day. This isn't laziness. Sleep is essential for regulating their nervous system, processing stimulation, and restoring energy. In the wild, deep sleep only happens when a cat feels completely safe. Their body relaxes, their muscles loosen, and their awareness of the environment drops. In other words, sleep is when they are most vulnerable. So imagine what happens when a cat that feels safe enough to fall into deep sleep is suddenly lifted into the air. Even if they don't react aggressively, their brain registers the disruption. Their heart rate jumps, their muscles tense, and they instantly move from deep rest into alert mode. Over time, if this happens repeatedly, cats may start choosing different sleeping locations, places where they feel less likely to be disturbed. They might hide under beds, climb high shelves, or retreat into corners of the house. Owners sometimes interpret this behavior as independence or antisocial personality, but it's often simply a cat protecting their rest. The easiest solution is surprisingly simple. If your cat is sleeping peacefully, let them sleep. Walk past them quietly. If they wake up and come to you on their own, then interaction becomes welcome instead of forced. Respecting your cat's rest tells them something powerful, that the places they choose to relax are truly safe. Now we come to one of the most fascinating secrets of feline affection. There is a specific spot on your cat's body that can trigger a deeper emotional response than most owners realize. When cats have strong social bonds with each other, they perform a behavior called allo-grooming. This is when two cats groom one another by licking their fur. It's not just about cleaning. It's a social bonding ritual that strengthens relationships and reduces stress. Interestingly, cats don't groom every part of each other's bodies equally. They tend to focus on a few particular areas that are difficult to reach alone. One of the most important of these areas is the base of the head, right between the ears and slightly down the back of the neck. This region is nearly impossible for a cat to groom by themselves, which means they rely on trusted companions to take care of it. Because of this, the area becomes associated with safety, family, and bonding. When cats groom this spot on each other, something interesting happens in their brains. Physical contact in that area can stimulate the release of oxytocin, a hormone strongly associated with bonding and trust in mammals. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone because it strengthens social connections. It's the same chemical involved in parent-child bonding and affectionate touch between humans. Humans can actually trigger a similar response when petting their cats, if they do it gently and correctly. Instead of quickly scratching your cat's head or rubbing vigorously, try using slow, soft strokes between the ears and down the back of the head. Move your fingers lightly and rhythmically, almost the way another cat's tongue would move while grooming. Watch your cat closely when you do this. Many cats will slowly close their eyes, relax their body, and begin to purr more deeply. Their whiskers may soften, their breathing slows, and their muscles loosen. These subtle signals indicate that your cat is experiencing comfort and trust. In that moment, you are communicating with them in one of the most natural ways their brain understands. Of course, every cat is unique. Some enjoy more physical contact than others. The key is paying attention to their signals. If their tail flicks sharply, their ears flatten, or their body stiffens, they may need space. But when their posture softens and they lean into your hand, that's your cat telling you they feel safe. When you step back and look at all these habits together, something interesting becomes clear. Loving a cat isn't about grand gestures. It isn't about buying expensive toys or constantly picking them up to cuddle. Cats interpret love through consistency, respect, and subtle communication. A soft voice when you speak to them. A slow blink across the room. A toy that moves like real prey. Quiet time shared in the same space. A gentle greeting that lets them smell you first. Respect for their sleep. And a calm touch in the places that feel most comforting. None of these actions take much time. Many last only seconds. But when repeated daily, they build something much bigger than routine. They build trust. And in the world of cats, trust is the purest form of love they can give. When a cat trusts you completely, you'll notice it in the small things. The way they choose to sit beside you, the way they greet you when you enter a room, the way they slowly blink before drifting to sleep nearby. Those quiet moments are your cat's way of saying something simple but powerful. You're part of their world.